Meet Ace, a monster slayer whose entire purpose was hunting down terrifying creatures only to slowly become one himself. And somehow it all started with a tiny parasite. So Ace is my personal character and our party's Ravenfolk Monster Slayer Ranger. Standing at around 5'8", fights more like a bounty hunter than a traditional hero. He rocks the dark leather armor, long bow, cold calculated personality to give him more of that witcher or mercenary vibe. He prefers staying outside enemies' reach so he can pick apart targets before they ever get close. But despite looking serious most of the time, he somehow ends up involved in some of the dumbest moments that our party usually has. So one of my favorite moments that happened pretty early when I started in this campaign, we had a traveling circus that rolled into town, except all the acts were undead. So we had zombie clowns, undead tiger, and enough nightmare fuel to last a lifetime. During the fight, our plasmoid monk, the Shapeless Monk, turned himself into a projectile so that I could pick him up, knock him out of my bowstring, draw it back, roll the nat 20, and then fired him straight through that zombie tiger. So that was easily one of my favorite combo attacks that we ever pulled off. But none of that compares to my purple worm son, Gregory. While exploring the elemental plane, Ace accidentally triggers a poison gas trap. And at the time, nothing seemed wrong until a little later where our warlock notices two tiny eyes staring out from my neck. Now, without saying anything, his solution was just to blast me with sickening radiance like some sort of magical chemotherapy. And then brought to my attention after that there seems to be a parasite living inside of me. Then thankfully, Aoife managed to cast heal and remove it from my body. But then, before I was getting ready to stomp on it, this tiny little parasite looks at me with its beady little eyes and imprints and calls me dad. So then of course I couldn't kill him after that. Instead, he came with us. So during fights, he would spit acid on enemies, spit acid on me, but instead of hurting me, it actually heals. And during a underwater map, there was no way for Gregory to breathe, so had no choice but to let him bond with me again. But this time, things were a little different. So bone spikes started growing from my body. I could rip them out, fire them like arrows. The skin hardened into a carapace, and I could even burrow underground. So Gregory wasn't just like some pet anymore, he was assimilating and becoming a part of Ace. During this time, I was feeding Gregory all kinds of monster bits and magic items to see what other powers he would give me. And I made a bad decision by feeding Gregory the wrong magic item, where he then disappeared. We still shared a telepathic connection, but I had no idea where he went. Time moves differently from the elemental plane to the outside world. So months had passed by the time we returned back to town. We get home and giant tunnels stretched across the countryside, buildings were destroyed, and the ground starts shaking and this giant purple worm emerges. And I know instantly that it's Gregory. Fully grown purple worm covered in this partially metal carapace after spending months growing and eating every bandit that tried attacking the town while we were gone. And somehow, despite being one of the most terrifying creatures now in the world, he still recognized Ace as his papa. And while my party still insisted that I should have killed that parasite, personally I think I made the right choice. Now Gregory wasn't the only thing to change Ace. So during our trip through hell, we discovered this bazaar where things worked very different. So gold meant nothing. Instead, demons traded in memories, abilities, relationships, pieces of your soul. And each trade would leave a mark of that demon on you. And Ace embraced every bargain that he could, trading his constitution for stronger attacks, trading his mimicry for the ability to summon a swarm of insects, trading his own fear even to summon a nightmare steed. And every deal branded another mark across his body. And by the time we left hell, the monster hunter started looking a little more like the monsters he hunted. And one thing never changed though. Ace always trusted his friends, and sometimes maybe a little too much. So while talking with some, I would say, fairly creepy looking NPCs, Timo suddenly decided, yeah, these guys are evil. Mid conversation, shoots a firebolt, knocks one off a stand, and combat ensues. Everybody else questioning what's going on, why would you do that? Ace didn't ask a single question, just started shooting. And unfortunately, those evil monsters turned out to be the children of a giant undead broodmother who was forced, I would say, to watch us slaughter them all while trapped behind a wall of force. So let's just say she remembered that and it comes back to bite us in the end, literally. So Ace started this campaign as a professional monster hunter, but after adopting a parasite, bargaining with demons, sacrificing pieces of himself for more power, he slowly became something entirely different. Thanks for watching. If you guys enjoy this and want to see it live, I'll leave the link to the Twitch stream in the description, and I'll catch you guys next time.